Hi everybody. I thought it might be nice to spend some time here at 34 Arlington Drive to relive some of the memories that we hold so close to our hearts over the many years that we spent here at our beautiful home. This is the house that Mom and Dad built over 60 years ago. They raised 7 children in this beautiful home. They first moved here when Mary Pat and Bobby were just little girls and John was a baby. Grandpa Emil designed the house and the Colby brothers helped to build it. Really it's a home that was built rock solid, beautiful construction. Some of the most beautiful features of the home are actually on the facade, where Grandpa took some stone from one of the churches that was on East Avenue that he had built. I think it was the Third Presbyterian Church. It's nice to know that a little bit of the history of East Avenue and the mansions along East Avenue have now been transported to Arlington Drive. So now we're going to start our tour with that introduction, and I hope you enjoy it. So here we are in the kitchen, and we have, of course, the beautiful big window looking out to the backyard. And I have to say, this kitchen table, if there's any piece of furniture in the entire house, it probably writes the whole history of the family, it's this table. It's really the heart of the home, where we spend thousands and thousands of meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, over many, many years. We somehow managed to fit a family of 9 people in this kitchen and sit around the table and talk and fight and spill milk and everything else that comes along with a big family. Not only did we have our meals here, but we did our homework here, or at least most of us did. John didn't do homework, Paul did his homework for him. But we baked our Christmas cookies on this table, we decorated Easter eggs, Mom folded piles and piles of laundry. I remember writing my college essays sitting right at this table on an old typewriter. So it really has a lot of history just in this little piece of furniture. First we'll go into the dining room. So the dining room, this was of course where all of our special occasions were held. Christmases, dinners, birthday parties, Easter dinners, Thanksgiving, and typically it was the adults that sat in here and the kids sat in the other room. I have very vivid memories actually of Grandpa Denny standing in this corner while Tommy and Julie and I would play hide and go seek. Somehow Grandpa always managed to hide in the exact same spot, but we could never quite figure out where he was. And each time we came around the corner, we were always surprised to see him in his corner. So filled with memories of wonderful meals and occasions in this dining room. And here we have the office, as we affectionately called it. This was Dad's office when he and Mom first moved here, and over time it was eventually converted into the TV room or den, but we always continued to call it the office since it was Dad's first place where he had his desk and would do some work at home. We were very content to have this big old television sitting on the floor in the corner of the room, and it served its purpose just fine. So we played in here. John and Paul and I used to get up at 7 o'clock every Sunday morning to come down here and watch the Three Stooges, and really made it our playroom. And of course, one wonderful memory of this room is the piano. This piano was Mom's when she was a little girl. Nan and Grandpa bought this piano for her. A beautiful Steinway piano. She played this piano for years. Paul, of course, practiced here for years and years, practicing his music and really perfected his pianist skills, and even taught lessons here. Kids would come in and he would give lessons. Julie, when she was in The Sound of Music, practiced all of her songs here at this piano, so lots of history on this keyboard here. And this little room, right here toward the back of the house, looks out over the backyard. This was the boys, John and Paul, slept in here. We had bunk beds, so they made this their bedroom when they were little. When Tommy came along, we needed a place for him. So the boys ended up moving upstairs, and Mom and Dad came down here. So the kids were upstairs, and Mom and Dad down here. And now we'll make our way into the living room, which is really, I think, my favorite room in the house. It's always been filled with light, beautiful color. Also a special memory of this room is that it was on this hearth, right on this fireplace, when Lee Trevino won the 1968 US Open and stayed in this very house. This is where the newspapers, where the photographer came and took a beautiful photograph, saved for many, many years of, at that point, 5 kids. I was the youngest, and we surrounded him holding his trophy. We, of course, spent lots of time in this room, and my favorite memory of this room was Christmas, because we would set our Christmas tree up here in the corner, put our stockings, of course, on the fireplace, and Nana and Grandpa used to sit in these 2 chairs, Grandpa on this one on the right, and Nana on that one on the left. And Nana would exclaim every single year that our Christmas tree was the most beautiful she'd ever seen, and always more beautiful than the prior year. In fact, I think her spirit is still sitting in that chair. Now we're gonna go upstairs. So here we are in the master bedroom. This was Mom and Dad's room when they first moved here, but once Tommy came along, this became the boys' bedroom. So we had 2 twin beds in here, and Tommy's crib right over here in this little niche, and the 3 of them spent a lot of time up here, had a good time, lots of fighting, lots of talking, lots of laughs. This also is the room where Lee Trevino did sleep when he won that famous US Open. It has a little spirit about it that is kind of special. This is the famous single full bathroom in the entire house. Somehow 9 people managed to make use of this bathroom, and we never knew anything different. We were very comfortable. Mom used to throw a bunch of us all at one time into this bathtub, get one bath over with all at once. But we made it work, and to tell you the truth, I love this little bathroom. And next we have the pink bedroom. And this is the bedroom where Julie and I slept. We at first had bunk beds up here, but then we had 2 little twin beds. We used to spend hours and hours up here playing, telling stories. Julie would insist on singing before we went to bed every night. So really loved our little bedroom and made it our own. And then last but not least, this was the girls' bedroom, Mary Pat and Bobby. They each had a bed, twin beds. Mary Pat's side of the room was always sparkling clean and neat and organized, and Bobby's side of the room was pretty much the opposite. She would have her curlers up here and her hairbrushes and her clothes, and so Bobby and Mary Pat really, they should have had a divider right down the middle of the room because it was so different. Okay, and the last room we're going to tour is the basement. Very important part of the house. Another thing I should point out about the basement and the garage is the fact that this house is built like a rock. So as you can see, these are steel I-beams. Very, very unusual in residential construction. These walls are not just concrete block, they are poured concrete, which means it's tightly sealed, it's dry, and it's solid. As you can see, this is a really outstanding, gorgeous basement. Fully dry, walks right out to the backyard. Tommy actually made a basketball court in this basement, if you can believe it or not, and the Hunters played, I think it was UCLA, lost to them in the finals of the NCAA, so his imaginary basketball team spent lots of hours down here. We used to even roller skate around this basement. John had his golf clubs down here and a net set up at one point so he could hit golf balls into the net. John and Dad used to have boxing matches down here. We carved our pumpkins down here at Halloween time. So we made full use of this infamous basement. Over here are the stalls. We ran out of space eventually, but we had our own stall, and this is where we could put all of our stuff. And lastly, we're gonna go out to the backyard. So here we are in the backyard where we played for hours and hours, all 4 seasons of the year. In fact, when Mom and Dad first moved here, Dad insisted that there would be 3 trees, first base, second base, third base, and this is where we played kickball and softball and baseball. Dad taught John and Mary Pat and Tommy to play golf in this backyard, to play baseball. We used to hunt Easter eggs way back in the woods. We would sled down this hill, make snowmans in the wintertime. So this really was our playground. So that's our tour. I hope you've enjoyed it. Living many memories, lasting memories forever, and we're blessed to have them. Thank you for listening.